We're grateful for your kind hospitality. I've been wondering, though, why is it that you treat us with such reverence?
Why is it that we, a race advanced beyond your imaginings, reverence you humans with honorifics befitting gods? The answer may surprise you. Indeed, it was one of our greatest surprises upon entering the galactic arena. An entire branch of academics has grown up from the roots of this mystery. It turns out that there exists a shared mythology amongst the large majority of known civilized races. The developmental commonality theorists would have us believe that this shared belief system is nothing more than a socio-religious manifestation of the collective mentality required for a race to step out of the bestial hunter-gatherer phase and on to true civilization. The scholars of our kind, however, brilliant skeptics from a race of doubters, found this explanation to be weak and woefully unsupported. Yet it is widely believed and accepted amongst our galactic peers. Your presence here, Exalted One, will provide them a sort of vindication.
Uh-oh. I think I see where this is heading.
Your legends are true. Fallen Adagior was your true homeworld, and Idumea its verdant moon. We arrived to find it teeming with life, and now we come full circle. For you see, the shared myth held throughout the universe, the one tenet held common by all religious and enlightened orders throughout the stars, is that salvation and transcendence can only be reached through the intermediary powers of humanity. The name is always the same, whether the throats be woven of silicone or carbon. Human. The noble bipedal figure, crowned with gossamer glory and armed with digits of 10 and 10. It is an icon found on temples and hearths throughout the known worlds. An icon, an impossible ideology, claim the theorists. A nostalgic myth from our primitive pasts. And until today, the hidden target of sinister and murderous conspiracy older than the stars. That the Seekers were committing the unforgivable crime of genocide is one thing. That they were slaying our gods, that is most certainly another. We don't know how the Seekers discovered our ploy, human. The timing of their arrival virtually shouts of a traitor in our midst. Enorum will not hear of it, but I can imagine no other possibility. We may have saved you from one danger, only to drop you into another of our own making.
If you don't mind my asking, how is it that you encountered these Seekers?
An excellent question, Exalted One. The people of Aurelia, my people, spawned a civilization much the same way that it has been done on other worlds. We struggled through calamitous times of war and bloodshed. Were lifted to heights of genius in ages of brilliance and progress, and built a world of eventual peace. It was not long after that the Seekers arrived. They brought with them wonders unimaginable, learning from 1,000,000 minds over eons uncounted, engines to bring the stars into our grasp, and an introduction into society as vast and varied as the seas of our homeworld. These wonders, however, came at a price.
What is this price I've heard you speak of?
1,000 years of indentured service. 1,000 years and the stars would be given to us. You see, the Seekers, these wise and generous light-bringers, are known throughout the universe as patrons of civilization. Numberless races which today are themselves respected and powerful members of the galactic society, have paid the millennial debt, simultaneously strengthening themselves and their lofty patrons. The extended family of the Seeker loyalists is one of the most powerful factions in galactic society. Yet the Seekers themselves remain aloof and supremely uninterested in the waves of war, philosophy, and political drama which periodically sweep through it. This is what first raised our suspicions. An aquatic race is a suspicious one, you see. If we do not learn to suspect danger from even the stillest waters, we will never survive long enough to rise above the waves.
How did you discover what the Seekers were doing?
One can learn much as a slave, if one knows which tasks to conveniently excel in. A directed search carried out by a seemingly harmless people can unveil surprising things.
What sort of things?
A team of our conveniently skillful technicians reported in with a strange finding. Records of the pioneering Seeker journeys were odd. Combing through centuries of such records, we were able to piece together a pattern which seemed much more military than exploratory. A Seeker probe vessel would come across a finding, report back, and then be swiftly joined by an unusually large armada. Whenever a sentient race was found, many of which today sit in high positions of the Galactic Senate, then a small envoy fleet would be sent, and the race would shortly be introduced to galactic society. But the majority of these findings resulted in nothing at all. Our curiosity got the better of us, and we began the long, painstaking process of retracing these centuries-old flight paths. The truths we were able to slowly piece together from this laborious journey were shocking.
You say you were shocked by your discoveries about the Seekers. What did you find?
The Enkull are not Seekers so much as hunters. Their ships, these majestic symbols of wisdom and shared society, are bristling with miles of the most advanced and deadly weaponry this universe has ever seen. The few weapons our analysts, posing as service technicians, dissected from their local ships, were beyond the science of even the most modern and powerful races known. These were not ships of discovery. They are vessels of pure and undeniable death. The score of worlds which we ran across on our journey were blackened and lifeless, but had not originally been so. All had been discovered as lush, fertile worlds, and on one of them, buried deep beneath the crust, we found remnants of a civilized race. We were horrified. This seemingly mindless path of destruction now narrated a voyage of relentless genocide, the single-minded murder of a defenseless and unsuspecting race. The Seekers were careful, even in their own logs, to avoid any description of their target. But there was one slight ray of hope for us. A possible window into this dark and terrible secret.
Tell me more about what your spies discovered.
The location of their last target, complete with nav points and orbital data, was uncovered by one of our spies serving as a maintenance underling aboard one of their interstellar vessels. The ship's commander had been ordered to gather provisions on our planet in the next cycle, then disembark any alien passengers. Following this, he was to sweep past the mid-sized moon, which orbited their last target. We imagined he was to look for any possible survivors who may have escaped the planet before they burnt it. We saw our chance. It was slim, but it was all we had. If we could stall this ship, stall it and keep it grounded while we sent a secret expedition out to this shattered world, then maybe we could find some evidence of the Seeker's duplicity. Evidence which would have to be swiftly snatched up through our patron's smothering grip. And this vast crime could be brought to light, and the civilized races would put a stop to such unfathomable evil.
Thank you for your wise words.
It is the least I can do, human. We return to Aurelia, our homeworld, on a scattered trajectory with the prayer that our arrival will not be noted, or at the very least not suspect. If our fears of betrayal are founded, then we may be welcomed with civil war or worse. You have been caught up in events spanning worlds, Exalted One, and I do not believe that mere coincidence has brought us our saviors at the moment when we are in direst need of salvation.